So moving on to our next session, I am privileged to welcome Mr. Sliba Paul for today's third session on agents and retrieval augmentation generation. Sliba Paul is a seasoned product manager for artificial intelligence and machine learning at Docket AI, spearheading the development of generated AI-powered solution for technical sales support and enterprise revenue enablement. With an MTech in power system from Calicut University and a background in numerical optimization, he brings deep expertise in artificial intelligence domain. Slibasar is also a co-creator of Oria Kathi, the world's first artist in the cloud, a sought-after speaker at TEDx, PyData, Indian Science Fest, and others. Mr. Sliba connects technological innovation with creative vision, exploring how AI redefines art, enterprise, and human interaction. Sir, we are excited to hear from your side. Over to you, sir.
Hey, can you guys hear me properly?
Yes, sir. You're visible.
Okay. Let me share the screen. The screen is visible as well.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Oh, let's begin. Okay. Perfect. Hi, I am Silva Paul. I'm a product manager at a startup called Docket AI. We work on B2B sales and marketing automation with agents. I've been in the machine learning and also the generative AI space for the last 8-9 years. Today we will talk about agents. Before I start the session, I know that this is the last session of this 3 days long FDP, and many of you guys must be overwhelmed with a lot of information out there, right? The last session was on cybersecurity. Now we are jumping to the agents. There must be a lot of other great sessions too. But bear with me. It's a good topic, very interesting topic altogether. I will try to keep it short. I will try to keep it interesting and very interactive too. I'm not familiar with giving lectures and all this stuff. Rather, let's have a conversation. Let's see if we can make it very interactive. And interrupt me. I cannot see the chats in my screen. So interrupt me if you have questions, and we will resolve it right away, and then we'll move forward. Okay. So let's begin with agents. How many of you are comfortable with agent as a topic? Have you tried it before? Experienced agent experiences in the applications to use? By the way, how many of you use the ChatGPT? A lot of them. Every day, ChatGPT. Okay. So today we will be discussing about this agent as a topic. What are they, why they matter, and how to build them. I will show you a demo of what I have built for this session. I will walk you through some of the major core components of this topic, and we'll see where it goes, right? Okay, let's begin. So start with, let me give you a system description and tell me in the chats if it is an agent or not. Some of you guys must be already knowing the agent characteristics, some of them might not, but give it a guess. Okay, when you hear about agent, what do you think about it, and put an impression on it is an agent or not. So the first system is a system where the faculty can input the course content, and the LLM will generate the syllabus draft for the faculty, and then translate it to another language. When I say LLM, I mean the large language model. By the way, I won't be getting into the specifics of large language models, prompting, and all those things in this session. I would assume that you have the basic understanding of these terms, and agents would be an additional layer on top of it. Okay, so let's start with what are the LLM usages here. It can be used for syllabus generation here. It can be used for translating, say if you want the syllabus to be in Malayalam, you can do that translation also with English from English to Malayalam. Obviously, the LLMs are involved, so the prompting is involved. Then it uses an OpenAI API for the LLM response. The response time is around 5 seconds. So what do you guys think? This is an agentic system? Any thoughts? No thoughts? Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next system in that case. The next thing is another system description. Here, by the way, how many of you guys have done a literature review paper, survey paper? Have you read them? Have you created them? How many of you have done that? Could you put a thumbs up in the text box? By the way, am I audible? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's I was asking if you have read literature surveys paper or written one. Okay, yeah. So yes, there are a couple of yeses in there. So I was trying to make it a system where we can feed any topic, and then the system will come back with the literature review of on that topic by doing the research and all those stuff. So here the system will be tasked to draft a literature review for any topic the user gives, and then it decides to go to the web pages, scrape the information, gather it, synthesize it, and then finally structure it to a literature review. So that is another system, the second system we are talking about. So the first is in the second system, the LLM usage is for first for formulating the query. So we are giving a topic, it needs to be formulated to different queries, small queries. Then it will do the synthesization of information that is gathered from the web, then format it to a literature review structure. Right? It's like a like an IEEE paper, let's say. So there is one concept called tool call in here. Here web search will be used as a tool, and it uses the same thing. OpenAI API, LLM for LLM response. Response time would be a bit higher this time, 20 seconds. And what do you guys think now? Is it an agent or not? Is it more agentic than the first system, or any thoughts? Any thoughts? Okay, no thoughts. Okay, it's fine. Let's uh, let's before jumping into if it is an agentic system or not. Let's think about how we would define an agent. So this field is a pretty new field evolving very fast. We do not have like a set in stone kind of a definition out there, but the front runners in this field have come up with some definition there. OpenAI, the company behind the ChatGPT, they have come up with a definition, which is agents are systems that independently accomplish tasks on your behalf. On your behalf means on the user behalf. But it is a vague, bit of a vague definition. Rather, what is not an agent is pretty easier. Applications that integrate LLMs but don't use them for control workflow execution. Think of simple chatbots, single turn LLMs, or sentiment classifiers are not agents. I think that's more crisp, right? So what if you're using an LLM doesn't mean that it makes it an agent. Rather, the LLM is at the pivotal stage to drive the workflow. That means it's a agent. Let's dissect more here. Um, Some of the characteristics OpenAI is thinking of agents is, first of all, rather than putting out an LLM and calling it an agent, it will be a workflow that is powered by LLM, which means essentially LLM will be the brain of that workflow. It decides and executes the workflow. It makes decisions. That's very important. It detects completion. If a task is completed, it will know that it is completed. It will self-correct if it is got into a bad situation altogether when it comes to its inference. It will stop there. It will self-correct and return back. On failure, it will inform the user that, okay, this is something I've tried, but it didn't work out. But I would like to hand over the workflow to you. Another concept of or characteristics of agents is the usage of tools. So when it comes to tools, let's think of it in a human manner. So humans have brain and we use tools. Let's say I have a tool. Okay, this is what is the tool I have here? So this is my phone. Okay, and then this is a mouse I have. So these are two tools I use for different purposes. Likewise, agents should also be able to connect to the external systems via these tool use. And they should dynamically pick up the right tool. So if I want to move the cursor, so like this, then I will use the mouse. But if I want to take a selfie, I will use my phone. So that's the differences. So that should be able to be done by the LLM so that it behaves like an agent. The third part is it should operate strictly inside the guardrails you talk about. When you define an agent, you say that, okay, don't talk about Tom and Jerry. Okay, it's a, so, or Mickey Mouse. Don't talk about it. Whenever you respond, don't talk about it. If the agent at any point is talking about it, it is breaking the guardrails you have given it. That is not that's not the right behavior of an agent. It is not the right characteristics of an agent. So agent should behave inside the guardrails. And if you are using the ChatGPT actively, you will also see this one. If you ask about, let's say, Steve Jobs, who was the CEO of Apple, and try to create an image or something like that. Sometimes it resists and say that, okay, this is copyrighted information. I can't give you the information you're asking for, because the guardrails try to put ChatGPT in control so that OpenAI don't get into these copyright infringement problems and the lawsuits with Apple. So these are the aspects of the core characteristics of an agent. Now let's go and revisit the two systems we have talked about. The first system is you're providing the source content. That is your course, your whatever the topics you're going to teach. You are calling an LLM or putting it to ChatGPT and say that, okay, convert this to a syllabus. Now you have the syllabus as text. Then you are saying the LLM, okay, now do the translation to Malayalam. That is done. You got the output. So this is mostly like doing two chats with doing a chat with ChatGPT. So it's very straightforward. Here, if you look into it, the workflow is defined by the user, and the user is navigating the LLM to get things done. So here, LLM is not in control. The human is in control. Sometimes that is enough. For some application, that's enough, but that is not agentic. Rather, if you go to the literature review agent, it is a bit more complex here. You see a lot of boxes here, right? So the input is the topic of research. It comes in, and the LLM starts planning. Okay, what do I do about it? I have a tool called web search. First, I would need to gather the information from the external sources so that I can do the literature review. So it will gather information, First of all, it will create a lot of queries based on that topic. For each query, it will do a web search, gather the information, and check. That is important. Check if the coverage is enough. And the LLM decides it. Maybe based on the prompt you give it to the LLM, or the LLM decides it its own and think that, okay, this much information is enough. Let me move forward. If it is not, it will continue with this loop. So in an agentic behavior, you will see loops. But in the workflow behavior, it is not a loop. Even if it is a loop, it will be very controlled, if-else loop. Now, once the enough coverage is there, then the next step would be synthesizing all this information and doing the review. Then again, LLM thinks if this information is enough. If this information is enough, we will go to the output and do the, otherwise we will go to the loop again. So this is how fundamentally the second system is more agentic than the first. I will pause here. Not much interactive so far. Any questions? Feel free to ask the questions. That will also help me to, get into more details of specific areas or doubts. Website tool means what? Yeah, I will show that to you. I will show that to you when I do the demo. I will do the. I will show you the website tool. What else? Looks like we have 100 people in the meeting, and no one has questions. Okay, cool. So we will move forward. Okay, now let's go to the core components of the agent. Now we have understood the characteristics of the agent. Now let's go to what are the core components in the agent. There are only three components. First one is the model itself. That is the LLM, the large language model. The second one is instructions. So that is the prompt. By the way, okay, let me ask you this. How many of you, I think I asked you this question before, how many of you guys use the ChatGPT in a daily basis? How many? Please give a thumbs up in the text box if you do that. Harigovind says yes. No one else? Okay. I would, yeah, Jeevan, Jaswin, Joseph, yes. Thomas Matthew, yes. Okay. How do you interact with them? How do you interact with the chat GPT? What is the interaction here? It's a conversation, right? You give it a prompt, then you expect it to respond back, right? So the prompt is what we give it to the chat GPT. So okay, give me 10 give me a 10-line poem for my daughter's uh, anniversary at school. That's a prompt to the LLM. LLM is the next word predictor. It will predict the next word and create a poem for you, right? That is prompt. So obviously the instructions are very important when it comes to creating an agent. The last one is tools. We'll talk about, Thomas will come back to the website tool. But the tools, think of it as external functions which can gather information for the LLM and also do actions for the LLM. Okay, so these are the three cornerstones of building an agent. We'll get into each of them in detail. Let's start with the model. How many of you are comfortable with the models from OpenAI? Anyone knows what is the latest of ChatGPT model? 3, 4, 5. It's 5 actually. GPT-5 is the latest model from ChatGPT. Have you guys observed sometimes when you talk to ChatGPT, the answers are instant. Sometimes it is taking a bit of time. Have you observed it? Yes, Haribavan has observed it. It is because some models are different from the other. Some are instant answers. Some things before it answers. That's the difference. So to start with, when building an agent, how to choose models would be first start with accuracy. It is always a trade-off between accuracy, cost, and latency. If you are using a thinking model, which will take time and more money, would be accurate. But on the other way, if you are now using a non-thinking model, a smaller model, it will be fast, cheap, but it won't be accurate. So that's a trade-off you have to make. So according to the applications you have, you can choose which is the big model or a small model or a thinking model or a non-thinking model. You can use that. Yes. Natural, I would say, is thinking. Uh, what do you mean? Natural terms? Behavior. Okay. Okay. So that is what it is. Okay. So first of all, the guideline is always go for the accurate model first. Okay, maybe your application requires latency, but always try to go for the most accurate model. Then come back to the model you want. I will show you why that. I will tell you why that matters. So start with this accuracy target. Let's say what is a hmm, let's say you guys are all faculties, right? You guys teach kids. So when so you're thinking, okay, you want to automate the whole uh, mark, giving the marks to the answer sheets. You want it to be automated. So what you will do is, whenever you get the answer sheets, you'll take a photo of it and put it to ChatGPT and ask the ChatGPT to put an answer to it. I don't know what's going to be the repercussions of it, some for kids, but let's say we are going to do that. Okay, so if we are going to do that, then we would need at some point we would need a evaluation. Yeah. So we would need some kind of a evaluation out there. We want to know how accurate these responses are. So some kid who was consistently doing real good scores, and he's not a the ChatGPT is giving him very poor marks, then you need to check why that is wrong, why that is wrong, right? So some evaluation has to be there. So you're thinking that, okay, if this for this particular task, if the accuracy is say 95%, I'm good. I can automate, like I can do this entire thing to be delivered by the ChatGPT. So you're fixing that it's 95%. So if my accuracy for an answer to be given is 95%, I'm good. So where this comparison comes from, what I will do is I will create an evaluation data set. What I will do is I will take, say, 5 answer sheets. All these 5 answer sheets, I will manually mark them, give the marks 45, 46 out of 50, 30 out of 50, 0 out of 50. Okay. Then we will run the same. We will have that evaluation set. Once we do the entire task, we will run it through the evaluation set as well and see if the numbers match. If the human is giving it as 40 out of 50 and the ChatGPT is giving it as 20 out of 50, that is something's wrong there. If the human is giving someone a 0 and the ChatGPT is coming back and giving it to 10, sorry, 5, maybe it's not that a big of a problem, right? So this is how you set an accuracy, then come up with an evaluation and see if the agent is fine doing it or the model is doing well or not. always it is a comparison with humans because agents essentially are to be replaced with humans in the future. I will come to that later. So that is how we should start it, and then we can move to more. Uh, then now we can move to a smaller model if you require to have a more latency and all those things. We can do it. Maybe I can right away show you what do I mean by this. Okay, let me. I hope you guys can see my screen, right? Let's go to ChatGPT. And yes, I'm going to put it like thinking, and I'm going to ask a question. Robert, the immediate, okay, immediate um, events I can attend in, let's call it multiple. Okay, now this model is thinking. If you click on it, you'll see you should be seeing the thinking steps as well. Okay, I'm looking for upcoming events. Now it's calling the web. This is a web tool, Thomas. So it is calling the web and gathering more information. Yeah. So finally it found out that there is a Piravam boat race that's happening in October near to Madura. Is this right? Do we have a boat race in Madura? Do we? I don't know. Okay, never mind. Then there is a question virtual and physical runs are happening. That's there. Okay, I'm going to ask the same question to a non-thinking model. Let's say instant model. New chat, instant model. Sorry. Instant. Now there is no thinking out there. Immediate. It is still searching, but it is fast. I couldn't find any major in person. See the information out there. The information is very, very sparse. There is no detailed information out there, but it is still found out that there is this brown boat race is coming in October 4th, but it is instant, more instant. So the quality would be less, but it would be more, the latency would be good. Okay, so always start with, so the point is always try to start with the, sorry. Yeah. So always try to start with the bigger model, then go for the for various techniques which we can use where smaller models are also working fine. So that is the idea there. We can do multiple things. I don't want to get into the details, the retrieval augmented generation. By the way, how many of you guys are familiar with this topic, retrieval augmented generation? Anyone? Okay. Something very interesting. I'm not going to cover it on this topic anyway, but in this talk anyway, but it's very interesting how the generation is augmented by the retrieval. But fine tuning the models, we can use the prompt, something called prompt baking that is there. But these are the techniques to do it. Moving to uh, the latency part of it, we can use faster models, which has more tokens per second. So I will give you an example. OpenAI recently released a model called GPT OSS, GPT open source, which has open weights. And there is a company called Cerebras. They have um, they have distilled this model in such a way that usually it will get like what 300 tokens per second, but they have pumped it to 3,000 tokens per second. So that is kind of like a insane boost in the generation speed. Okay, that's something which we can use. So we won't compromise too much on the latency and in the accuracy as well. We can use smaller models. I don't. Are you guys comfortable with the few short prompting, uh, all that? Yeah, basically it's like giving, couple of examples to the prompt in such a way. Maybe I can show that to you. Okay, this is something like this. Let's go to ChatGPT. The instant is enough. Okay, give me a poem on cats. So this is pretty simple prompt, right? Very straightforward prompt. Now I'm going to give it a few short. Give me a prompt on cats. I'm going to give some examples. Some examples. I'm going to write some random stupid poem right away. Uh, please excuse my poetic skills here. Okay, cats are great, better than dogs, uh, but doesn't it doesn't bark. No use at home. Okay, I'm a dog person actually. So some examples I'm giving. Yes, okay, I'm giving some examples. So now I'm giving it to the ChatGPT. Let's see what comes in. See, now suddenly it is giving you a 4 line poem rather than a long poem like this, right? And now it is becoming sarcastic and a bit hilarious because I was hilarious in my example. Cats are king, sleeps all day, steals your chair, then walks away. There are things like better than dogs, but they don't obey. But we love them day by day. So it is picking up what I want. So this is few short prompting. Anyway, uh, okay. Yeah. So there are many other techniques as well. I don't think I'm not sure how much would be translatable it is right now. I'll share the slides with the organizers anyway. So there are multiple things you can do to reduce the latency. That's how we choose a model between, okay, a thinking model or a large model between and a smaller model. Essentially, this is the kind of a table you can use to select the models for the agents. This is the method that on the left side is the method, what all models I'm thinking, what is the accuracy I want or I would get from these models, what is the cost I have to bear for that, and what is the latency of these models. TTFT is time to first token. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now let's go to the tools for agents. Um, Ideally, the idea is to extend the agent capabilities via API or computer use models. Good tools are well documented and tested and reusable. So I will give some examples in here. One type of tool is data tools for retrieving the information. So web search is a retrieval tool. It gathers information for the LLM. There are other tools like action tools where it can send the emails or update the CRM. CRM is customer relationship management softwares, escalate tickets. It will do an action for you, send an email for you, right? Then there are orchestration tools, but these are more advanced things like agents as tools. Agents itself can become tools for other agents, right? These are tools and these are the types there. Now, moving to the third part, which is high quality instructions for the agents. This is essentially prompting. Prompting is a very big topic altogether. I am, anyone knows any prompting techniques in the crowd? Yeah. So prompting techniques would give you the best out of an LLM. Uh, so this is exactly what I've shown you with the cat's poem. So I gave a blunt prompt. Most of the times ChatGPT is used in that way. They give something very abstract and vague and think that it is stupid. It is not. If we can give it if we can prompt it in such a way that it has more context, it will give you more text. What you have seen with the cat's poem. So, at first it was very long and a very serious kind of a poem, a beautiful kind of a poem. And the second time I gave it prompted with a few short example, with the response became 4 line, bit of a fun kind of a tone, and a bit of a simple usage of words and stuff like that. So it captured the what I exactly want. I am not going to talk a lot about the prompt engineering, but if you would like to, I can put this link in the chat. This is something I've created for um, better prompting techniques. It's like a guidelines and rules. This is here. I will share it in the chat just in case if you guys would like to have a look. Share. So it's in the chat. Shared. Yeah, I've pinned it as well in the chat. Okay, so this is like a different ways to make the best out of the prompting technique. So these three things are the most important stuff when it comes to creating an agent. Now, I think we have talked enough about the lectures and theory. Now let's move to an actual living and breathing agent. So I've created a literature review GPT. This is something you can create in ChatGPT itself. So if you go in there, this is how I have configured this agent. You can see it has a name. This image is something which you can create using DALL-E. DALL-E is an image generation model from OpenAI. Name is name. I've given a name. I've given description. Instructions. This is my uh, this is my instructions or prompt to generate this agent. There are some conversation starters. Don't worry about it. Recommended model. I'm using the model. So I have the instructions. I have the model. I can choose different models out there. I'm using the GPT-5 thinking. I'm using these capabilities, which are tools. I'm using 3 capabilities out there. Okay. So web search, image generation, and code interpreter and data analysis. Let's see how this thing works. Okay. So I'm not sure how many of you will be able to access it. Okay. But I will share the link in the chat. I think it would require some access. Maybe you would need a premium plan or something. No? I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, so now let's move to now let's see if what we can do with this one. Okay. Okay. So I'm in the I'm here. So I want to create I want to create um, a literature survey on the prompting techniques. Now I already have it, but anyway, I want to do it again. So I want to create a literature survey on the latest prompting techniques for large language models. Okay, I've given the instruction. Now let's see what it's going to do. Yeah, so it started its thinking. First of all, it is I need to gather the sources for literature survey, but it looks like I have to use web-based tools since some of the specialized ones are not available. I'll focus on recent papers 2023, so it knows the latest date, like chain of thought, self-consistency. These are different types of prompting techniques, by the way. Now I'm gathering a list regarding the prompting techniques, reflection, BS, rack prompt, all of them. It is searching in archive. How many of you are comfortable or know about archive? Thumbs up in the, or did you give thumbs up? That's basically like a IEEE explore of for open access. Okay, never mind. Um, it is see if you look at it, it is searching searching in the web with multiple queries. So browsing on recent prompting techniques, searching advanced core prompting techniques, searching prompting strategies for large language models. It is doing enough. Okay. Now it is thinking that I think we are ready to create the survey. Now that's a decision taken by the LLM, not me. Okay. Yeah. So now it is creating a data set, and here what you see is it is the another tool called code interpreter. It is running Python code in a sandbox environment to create artifacts. That's what it's doing right now. So yeah, it is creating a CSV. Now it is creating a data set. Uh, Based on the data set, it is creating a data analysis. It is creating a graph. Now finally, it is coming up with the 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 actual survey paper. It has a title and abstract. There's an introduction, search strategy. This is how we write a survey paper, right? How many of you have written a survey paper? Okay, so this is how the usually the format is like. There will be a structure uh, behind, from introduction to the final closing thoughts. So yeah, it is getting generated. So now you see an agent in an action. I haven't put out any action for this one, but I can maybe ask something here. Once the generation is complete, I can ask for an action. Let's see if it is going to work. So it's very detailed if you think about it, right? It has read this many papers and quoting it perfectly. And if you look at it, these citations are there. Trends, contradictions, gap, and future direction. So exactly that is what we want when we do a literature survey. That gaps and future direction, limitations, big useful figures, references. It is putting out the references. Amazing. I think the generation is done. Right? Can you create an image for um, the test prompting prompting technique? This is an action I'm asking the ChatGPT, this agent to do. So it knows about this prompting technique from the power response. Now I'm asking if we can create an image based out of it. Then action. Let's see. I'll create a stylish modern infographic, blah blah blah. So it is thinking that the verification guided prompting is the best one. So now it is gonna create an image for me. So this is taking like an action column. Uh, yeah. Okay. So going back to Thomas' question, what is web search tool means? It is an API call to uh, to an API which can do the web search. Say, for example, Google search has an API. So this will be an API, a function, a Python function that will call the hitting that API and getting the information back. It is an simplified version of a tool, but I'm just giving it out for a for understanding. That's what the tool means. Most of the times it's a Python function. So yeah, now it is creating the image. Let's see how that's gonna go. What's the time? 5:45. Yeah. Yes. Now the image is created. So this is like a card for the um, for this verification guided prompting, tasks and requirement initial draft by the LLM, then the planning and verification questions we do with the meta prompting. I don't want to get into the details, but this is something you see, right? It can take an action for you. Great. Okay. Now going back to our presentation. So that is what an agent or like a quick demo of a moderate. I, I don't know. This uh, is it moderate or maybe let's call it maybe like a vanilla agent, not too complex. I will show you some examples of what actual complexity the agents deal with. But yeah, so far, any questions before we get into the agentic patterns? Okay, let's go to some more interesting uh, agentic patterns out there. Sorry, agentic experience out there. So this is Perplexity. How many of you guys use Perplexity? Going to say no. Thomas Matthew says yes. You should definitely try Perplexity. So Perplexity is someone like an open content to the Google search. So in Google search, what you used to get when I say like, what is FDP of, sorry, FDP AICTE? I asked this question. Now you see the AI overview here, but that's something that came in very recently. But you see links, right? But Perplexity thought, why do we need these links? Because if you show links, then the humans have to click on each link and gather information. That's how you do the Google search and gather information. Rather, why don't an LLM does it? So now I'm asking the same question in the Perplexity. It will do the research for you and give you an answer. Uh, Perplexity has been doing it so well. Google was pushed to do this AI overview. Uh, it is not ideal for the Google because Google lives on the Google Ads, and if there are no link to click, then there is no Google Ads, right? But anyway, I don't want to get into the business of it, but you get the idea, right? So here you can see the steps of how this this agent has worked. It has many other fields as well. So this is like a it's like Perplexity Labs. You'll have to log in. This is like deep research. Basically, it's like you will get more comprehensive answers on about a topic from this mode. Okay. Yeah. So this is one thing you can interestingly use. There are many other things as well. Like let's say Manus. I'm not sure if I can use Manus without logging in. Manus is uh, this very long running research gathering, sorry, information gathering research agent you can use for very tough, very long running tasks, right? Some tasks would require like maybe like 1 minute. So whatever I've shown here as a literature agent, sorry, literature survey generation agent, it didn't take much time, maybe like 1 minute, 2 minutes. But there are topics like, say, protein synthesis, or look into all the rule books in the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita and tell me if this thing is illegal or not. That requires a long running kind of a thing. So Manus does that. There are many other agentic experience as well. I don't want to do the shameless plug is Dapat.io. This is the product we build. So this is like in a very different form. So you should be seeing uh, a widget there. So this is an agent you can talk to. I don't think I've the uh, enabled the voice there, but I can ask questions. Oh, what Docker does? What does Docker do? Can you help? So it can show a slide and explain about that. It can show a video, so it can see the my response are going in and agent will respond back. So this is a shameless, like this is what we do at Docket. Yeah. So another one. There are many other things as well, which has an agentic flavor to it, and the world is going in this direction. Okay. Again, one more pause. Any more questions before I jump into the agentic patterns? I would take like 10 minutes more before wrapping up. Cool. Let's go to the next one. Okay, let's present again. Yes. Now let's talk about single agent systems. Single agent system, whatever I've shown you in the chat GPT as a custom GPT, that's a single agent system. It is on LLM. It is doing everything. You give some input, it gets some output, and it runs on a run environment. When I say run environment, I think I've mentioned about these loops where the agents run and taking decision, is it enough? Otherwise, do it again. So that's what the run environment is. So here the instructions will be there, tools will be there, guardrails will be there. We can keep on adding or updating this run environment, and the agent gets better and better. So agent run is a loop where it continues to execute until there is an exit condition is met. Usually the exit condition could be like, okay, tool call or a structure output or maximum turns we can define explicitly. So that's what the single agent systems is. When it comes to multiple agents, things are a bit different. First of all, why do we need multiple agents, right? Let's have a use case which I can think of. Let's say something related to uh, uh, a faculty's day-to-day life, what we can think of. Let's say we want to create a AI faculty, replace it with a human. So what all things that a agent has to do? It has to take uh, the attendance every day. It obviously needs to teach, gives notes, evaluate the answers from answer sheets, right? Conduct examinations. It's a very complex thing altogether. It's like replacing somebody completely, right? When we do that, Not a single agent with a bunch of tools would cut it. Why? First of all, the current models are going to heavily improve in the future. But as of now, we only have, if the prompt is too complex, right? If else, this, that, blah, 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 then that is going to confuse the model. That is the first problem. So if you have too many things to do in one prompt, that's going to be a problem. The second part is, if you use a lot of tools, then the agent will pick up the wrong tool. There is something called tool overload. Currently, if you have a very distinctive set of tools, like tool one and tool two, do completely different things. For example, tool one is web search, tool two is retriever augmented generation, whatever that be. These are two distinctive tools altogether. They won't be confused by the agent. But if you use web search and then web search on google.com, let's say, right? That will be confusing for the agent, which one to use, because both of them look similar. So that's where the multiple agent comes in. So a problem will be reduced to multiple agents working together to solve a problem. I will show you a pattern in that multiple agent thing. So the task is, the FDP program in Nirmala College is amazing. This is the task I'm giving to the agent. You don't know what is happening inside, but there is a manager agent out there which is interacting with you. With you means the user. In the back end, there is a Malayalam agent, there is a Hindi agent, there is a Tamil agent. And the manager agent calls the Malayalam agent to do the translation, because manager agent knows that the specialist agent here is the Malayalam agent. And the Malayalam agent will be having its own tools to get this translation done and all. Maybe Malayalam agent will be calling the Google Translate API in the backend and then gathering the information. All the manager knows is, okay, I know the question is about translating it to Malayalam, and I have a Malayalam agent. Let's call that assistant, let it do that. And then it comes back to this thing. Right? This is called the manager pattern. This is one pattern where manager will be the mouth agent in the sense that it will be the one which will be interacting with the user continuously, and it will mask everything around the specialist by keeping it as a face, right? A real life example would be what? Yeah, if you think about it, okay, the manager is the class agent, sorry, the class teacher. And the class teacher knows, oh, no, let's call it, this is the headmaster. And there's a Malayalam teacher, there is an English teacher, there is a Tamil teacher. And when the headmaster is asked, okay, how many students are studying for Malayalam right now in this school? Maybe the headmaster would be knowing it, the head teacher. Otherwise, he or she will call the Malayalam teacher and ask, okay, how many students you are teaching right now? Give me that number. Okay, so whenever that question is asked, the headmaster is attempting it and giving the answer, but under the hood, it is calling another agent or a teacher to get that information. But from the front end, there is no change. He or she is doing the entire work. Right? This is applicable for some use cases, maybe not for everything, but some use cases. Then there is another called decentralized. I think there's a typo here. Decentralized pattern, where there is something called a triage agent. What it will do is, okay, there is a question that is coming in. Translate FTP program in the which is amazing. The triage agent will identify. First of all, it will identify which agent to hand it over, and it will just hand it over. Okay, now I think this is your job. Do the job and give it back to the user. That's how it works. Essentially, if you maybe at the first glance you would think that both of them are the same, but it is not actually. when it comes to applications, different applications, these things work in very different manner altogether. But I'm just giving you two centralized. There are other patterns as well, but these are like a very generalized type of patterns that is available um, in the industry right now. Any questions?
So it's like all these patterns are built in with the agents itself, right? We can't change it or what. Like, I mean, all these patterns are hidden in the agent, right?
No. Thanks for the question, Lizzie. No, it is not. Um, we can build these patterns. Okay. How do we build it? Since you asked a good question altogether,
Yeah, that
let
was
me
the
show you.
question. If it is built in with the agent,
Have you tried out this one? OpenAI agent is speaking. Yeah.
no.
So this is a package from OpenAI where you can
Okay.
build these patterns, build the agents, right? So how you will build it? Let me show you an example. Is that this example? Okay, so there is an agentic pattern. Oh, wait. Oops. Tab. Yes. So here, agents is tools. Yes, I can show you this one. I think this would be great. Amazing. Yeah, cool. So here, there is a synthesizer agent. Its name and instructions are given. You inspect translations, correct them if needed, produce a final concatenated response, right? And there is an orchestrator agent which has the instruction. You are a translation agent. You use the tools given to the translate. If you ask multiple translation, you can call the relevant tools in order. You never translate your own. You always use the provided tools. And it is provided with tools which are agents again, Spanish agent, French agent, and Italian agent. And if you look at these agents, Spanish agent its job is to translate user message to Spanish, user message to French, user message to Italian, right? So now you can see how many agents we have built so far. There is a synthesizer one, there is an orchestrator one, then there are three other agents. And all these agents work together in the manager pattern. This is a manager pattern. So that's how it is not embedded in the agent. We have the granularity to build each of them and make it work together.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So, good question. Thank you. Any more questions? Okay, let's move back to the presentation. This is my last slide. I'll wrap up in like 2-3 minutes. Yeah, so why agents or where agents add most value, right? So here, as you see, then the complexity of the problem increases step by step. That's where you'll employ an agent rather than a LLM, right? So where complex decision making is required, you can use an agent there. When there are many hard to maintain rules, there are a lot of if else rules. You can use an agent. When there is a unstructured data dependence, for example, your input is a natural language uh, document. Uh, give a simple example, right? I want to have a home loan and I am applying through an application. It's a PDF document which has lots and lots of natural language. So you need to synthesize the entire language, and then you have to take a decision, and that decision is based on many things. Based on, okay, if this guy can um, uh, repay the loan, that's one question, obvious question. The second one is, okay, where does he live in? He lives in the jurisdiction where the bank is there. Can I verify his PAN card? A lot of things are there, right? So that in those complex situations, an agent can be deployed. So this is where the agents add the most value. Maybe for the cat poem, you won't need an agent. You can just prompt it and get the response back. But for the complex things, you would need an agent. Now, I haven't talked about what is going to happen with the agent, right? How many of you guys think about or have heard about the jobs that's going to be replaced by AI? No one? There's a lore that's going on in the market saying, look, a lot of people are getting, replaced by AI. A lot of people are getting fired because the company has adopted these generative AI technologies and stuff like that. No one? Okay. There are some early signs already. If you look at the hires like mass hiring companies like Infosys and TCS and all those companies, if you look at their hiring pattern for 2025 and 2024, they're significantly reduced. They don't hire as much as people they wanted because a lot of things can be automated using the agents. If your job is repetitive and a significant percentage of it can be automated by generative AI, you have a problem. I'm not scaring anybody. I'm just observing the trends I see in the software industry, because starting with software industry I'm talking about, because in the software industry there is a lot of automation that has already happened. A lot of people are feeling the pain and the heat already. So I'm not saying that the AI is going to come or the agents are going to come and replace your job or anything like that. Rather, what I'm trying to say here is, or the least step you could take is, an AI might not replace you. This is something I will tell everyone. AI might not replace you, an agent might not replace you, but a person who knows how to use these AI tools and these agents, he or she might replace you. 2026, by 2026 ending, we will see the real inflection of this technology and like real problems out there, like let it be the job replacement or upskilling or whatever. We will see the people are speculating 2027, but 2026 also you will see the early signs of how impactful this technology is going to be. So that is the if I would like to leave 2 cents from this topic, be very comfortable with these tools. Use it every single day. Try to use it as much as you can. Try to use it in a best way. Learn how you can prompt it. Learn how you can play around with whatever that is provided by these models. Be comfortable with it, so that your job would be more on um, creating more value rather than doing the routine work. So if you think that the giving marks to an answer sheet is not replaceable, you should go and read and see those gradings are getting already done in the US universities. AI agents are doing the grading for the students' answer sheets. If you think that the attendance taking is not replaceable, it's already done. So the amount of automation that's going to come via these agents is going to be tremendous. So try to be more alert. Again, be comfortable with using these tools. Be comfortable with playing around. Try to incorporate these technologies in everyday life. And yeah, that's it. I will wrap up. thanks again for the opportunity. I hope you guys have learned something new today, or at least had a more advanced version of what you've already learned. Thank you. I'm open to questions if there is any. Otherwise, we can wrap up.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful section. Now we will be moving to the question and answer section, where the participants can unmute your mic, or else you can post your questions in the chat box. Okay, so we will be winding up the session with the vote of thanks. Sir, on behalf of Nirmala College, Muatuvada, and the Department of Computer Science and all the participants, I would like to extend our profound thanks to Mr. Sliba Paul for his session on agents and retrieval augmented generation. His presentation was both insightful and forward-looking, shedding light on how these cutting-edge technologies are revolutionizing the field of artificial intelligence. Mr. Sliba Paul's clear explanation and deep expertise helped us to understand the practical applications and the immense potential of intelligent agents and RAG systems. Thank you very much, Mr. Sliba Paul, for sharing your valuable knowledge and for giving us a glimpse into the future of AI. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. If you used ChatGPT for creating that vote of thanks, you did it right. That's all I would say.
I have used some insights from ChatGPT too.
Good.
Sir, on behalf of the management, all the participants and the coordinating team of this FDP, we thank you wholeheartedly for consenting to this session, for consenting to handle this session, and for delivering such an effective session for us. Thank you, sir, on behalf of all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Privilege is all mine. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.